Good morning, class 3 and 4. I hope you're all okay and ready for your reading session for today. Yesterday we finished Ruby Finds a Worry, and today we're going to look at a poem. Okay, it's called A Message from Your Brain. We are going to look at the first half of the poem today and the second half tomorrow. So, before we start, I'm just going to say, from looking at the poem, write down as many things as you can that shows that this text is a poem. So I want you to pause me, jot them down, and then we will go through what we've come up with together. So before you read it, just have a little look, scan it. What do you notice? What tells you, what suggests that this is a poem? Okay, so some things you might have noticed are the verses, also known as stanzas. They're equal length, so you've got 4 lines per verse. All the lines are of a similar length. That helps with the rhythm of the poem. That every sentence has got a capital letter. Okay, so every line, has got a capital letter, not just whether it's a sentence or not. Every line starts with a capital letter. There's rhyming words in there. Rhythm, syllable pattern, so A, B, C, B. For the rhyming, you've got, so for the first bit, you've got head, there, warm, stare. So A, B, C, B. That B sound is the same. And the text is centrally aligned, so it all looks quite neat. So there's some of the things you might have come up with. You might have come up with some other things, but they're just a few that I had. Okay, let's have a read then together of the first part of the poem. Hello, it's me, the brain in your head. You can't see me, but trust me, I'm there. I'm hidden in bone, all cozy and warm. If I were out, then most people would stare. I wanted to pass on a message to you about learning and challenging and failing. I know that it's hard when you start a new thing. Who said learning was always plain sailing? Learning new things can be fun and exciting. New skills help you to change and grow. But sometimes new skills can be hard to pick up. Trust me, I'm a brain. I should know. I'm a bit like a muscle I like to work out, exercising new thoughts and ideas. But the thoughts of a challenge should not make you sad or fill you up with panic and fear. Okay, so I've got some questions for you to go through now. So question 2, write down 2 rhyming words from the first verse. Number 3, find and copy a rhetorical question from the poem. Number 4, why does the brain say it is a bit like a muscle? And number 5, why do you think the poem is written in first person? So pause me while you have a go at those questions, and then when you're ready, unpause me, come back, and we'll go through the answers together. Okay, so for question 2, write down 2 rhyming words from the first verse. I'm hoping that you've all put there and stare down. Number 3, find and copy a rhetorical question from the poem. So who said learning was always plain sailing? That would have been your rhetorical question. So why does the brain say it is a bit like a muscle? So it says it a bit like a muscle because it likes to work out when it exercises new thoughts and ideas. And finally, why do you think the poem is written in first person? So you might have put that the poet is using the brain as the narrator. The brain is sending a message to the reader as if it could speak. You might have just put the fact that the poet wants you to know that it is the brain talking. Anything like that would have been great. So give yourself a big tick. If you've had any problems with any of these or you've got any questions, please send me an email. I'm more than happy to go through it with you. And I will see you tomorrow for the second half of our poem. Bye!
Good morning, class 3 and 4. Welcome back. We're on Thursday, the 18th of June. So pause it now so you get your date written in your book, ready for today's lesson. Okay, so we're just going to recap again over understanding what goes in a paragraph and how we can structure a paragraph. So here we've got a paragraph, and I want you to have a think which sentence in this does not belong in the paragraph below. So which one's the odd one out? Which one doesn't make sense being there? Okay, I want you to have a think about why you've chosen that sentence as well. So I'll read it out to you. Martin ran down the hallway and into his bedroom. Slamming the door shut, he stood with his back against it. His favourite animal is a tiger. He heard footsteps on the stairs, then the floorboards creaking on the landing. Oh, sorry guys, I messed that up. Then the floorboards on the landing began creaking. Okay, so which sentence there does not belong in that paragraph? Which one doesn't make sense to be there and is a bit random? Have a little think and then see if you can explain why. You can have a go at writing this one in your book. So just explaining why the sentence you've chosen does not belong in that paragraph. Can you explain why in your book? Pause now whilst you have a go and then press play and we'll see if your answer is similar to mine. Okay, so this is the sentence that does not belong. His favourite animal is a tiger. Yeah, that does not belong there. And here's an example of an explanation. So paragraph is a group of sentences and they're linked to the same theme. This sentence does not link to the rest of the sentences because it is about a completely different topic. Okay, so this is not the same focus as the rest of it. Okay, it's completely random. It does not fit there. Okay, so here we have got another piece of writing, and the question I'm going to ask you is true or false. There are two paragraphs which include speech. Okay, I'm going to read it out to you. If you don't want me to read it, you can pause it and read it yourself, and then fast forward if you like. So I'm going to read it out now. Reading was Katie's favourite hobby. She loved nothing more than curling up with a good book. The school library was her favourite place to read in the whole world. There are so many more children's books, than in the city library. She always found something new and interesting to try. Her favourite time to visit the library was on Friday afternoons. This was the quietest day of the week. Most of the children had left and the rest were in after-school clubs. She was allowed to stay and read until they had finished, and she always had the whole place to herself. This Friday had started off like any other visit. She went to the new books section as usual and flipped through them until she came across one that looked different from any book she'd ever seen before. It had a beautiful golden cover and there were symbols all over it. A thick strap was wrapped around it and attached to this was a padlock which she could see was unlocked. She could barely contain her excitement. Lifting the book carefully from the shelf, Katie stared at it in wonder. Wow, she whispered to herself. Okay, so true or false then? There are two paragraphs which include speech. So is that correct or incorrect? Pause now while you have a little think and then press play for the answer. False. There is only one paragraph which includes speech, which is this one here. So just because it's not more than one sentence doesn't mean it's not a paragraph. Okay, so false. There is only one paragraph which includes speech. So now, which of these is the subject of paragraphs 1 and 2? Okay, so we've got these three here, potential subjects of or focuses of paragraphs. Which one of these is the subject of paragraph 1 and 2? So, is it telling us all about children's books in the city library? Is it telling us how Katie loves to read in the school library? Or is it telling us all about the mysterious golden book? Which of those three is the subject of paragraphs 1 and 2? Pause now while you have a think and then press play when you're ready. Okay, of course it is the second one here. So these first two paragraphs, that tells us it's just trying to build that understanding that Katie loves to read in the school library. It does mention the city library, doesn't mention the mysterious golden book at all in those first two ones, but it does mention the city library, but it's not just about the books there, although it does tell us a little bit about the books there. It is doing that just to really expand and help us understand that Katie loves to read in the school library. Okay, paragraph 4 could be separated into two paragraphs. What would be the first word of the second paragraph? So this big paragraph here, if you were to split that into two paragraphs, where would you start a new line? So have a little think, where would you go onto a new line? So what would be the first word of the second paragraph? Pause it now so you can have a go. Now remember, don't try and do it so that it's just an equal amount of sentences in each paragraph. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes you just have one sentence in a paragraph. So have a think, where do you think it could be split? So it's from here all the way down to here is one paragraph. Pause it now whilst you have a go. Okay, so we could have started a new paragraph here from lifting. okay? Because this bit here, it is all about describing the book and explaining exactly what it looked like, and then here is a new action. Lifting the book carefully from the shelf, Katie stared at it in wonder. So that could have been a sentence on its own, as in a paragraph on its own. Okay, and now, which two paragraphs could be linked together to form one paragraph? Which one do you think? Again, don't worry too much about the size of it necessarily, but which two paragraphs do you think could be linked together just to form one paragraph? Pause it whilst you have a think, and then press play when you're ready. Okay, so these two could have gone together to form one whole paragraph. That would have been fine, because here it says her favourite time to visit the library was on Friday afternoons. So the subject and the focus of that paragraph there is talking about what day of the week she goes to the library and her favourite time. The next bit says, this was the quietest day of the week. And you know, I thought this when I was reading it, thinking, does that need to be two separate paragraphs? Because this is continuing to talk about Friday afternoons and explain that Friday afternoons was the quietest day of the week. So those two could have gone together to make one whole paragraph. Okay, so well done if you got that and the other answers. So today then, well, yesterday you made your plan for your letter and you planned out your paragraphs. Today we're going to start writing our letter, but I really want you to take your time on this. I don't want you to rush it. I certainly don't want you to get it all done in one day. This whole session shouldn't take much longer than an hour, and I would hate for you to really rush it just so you haven't got anything to do tomorrow. So do take your time. And remember, I've suggested 3 paragraphs, but like I said yesterday, you may find that there's 2 paragraphs you want to do for each focus. That's absolutely fine. But today I'd like to focus on just writing 1 paragraph of the letter. If you've planned to write 4 or 5 or 6, then maybe try and just do half of it today, and then the rest tomorrow. But once you use your mind map from yesterday, and have a go at getting that first paragraph down today. But remember, if you feel like you need to do more or you can do more, that's fine. I'm just really looking to see if you are using your paragraphs correctly and having a go at using your paragraphs. That's the main focus here, but also getting you just to think about this particular topic that we're writing about. So today's first paragraph then, this is where it's your opportunity to tell your teacher about all of your experiences from lockdown so far. So the things that you've really enjoyed, all the positive experiences that you've had so far. Okay, so think about those features of a letter. Don't forget to show the reader who you're writing to at the beginning. And also you're going to be writing in first person, so you'll be using I and me and my, and tense. It'd be great to see if you use some present perfect tense within this. Okay, so take your time, guys. If you're handwriting this, beautiful handwriting as always, and finger spaces, and don't forget for your paragraph, leave a line so it's really nice and clear and broken up that you've left that you are using paragraphs. If you'd like to do this electronically and type it on a computer, that's absolutely fine, because remember, you can send these at the end. You can either send us a picture of your handwritten letter, you could post your letter to school, and we'll get it, or you could type it out in an email and send it to your teacher. But you might want, if you do type it out in an email, I would recommend writing it by hand first so you know exactly what you want to say, then typing it when it's all finished tomorrow. Okay, so good luck with this, guys. Enjoy, and I can't wait to see the finished ones tomorrow. Bye.
Good morning, class 3 and class 4. So today we're going to have a little look at multiplication. So we're going to start off by having a look at column multiplication, and then we'll look at some of the other ways that you might like to work things out. So if we start off with column multiplication, we start the same as column addition without ones. So 2 times 2 is, of course, 4. Then 2 times 3 is 6. So we've got 64 as our answer. Okay, guys, have a little go at this one yourselves in your books. Pause me while you do it, then come back when you're ready to go through the answers. Little clue, you will need to do an exchange for this one. Okay then, so if we have a look, 3 times 5 is 15, so we put a 5 in here, and we carry our 1, exchange our 1 to our tens. 3 times 4 is of course 12, so rather than writing a 2 in there, we need to add this 1, so that becomes a 3, and we put our 1 over here. So the answer is 135. Okay, so for this one, we need to complete the calculations. So they have drawn counters for this one. They've done a tens and a ones column, and they've got 2 counters in their tens column and 1 in their ones. So the number is 21. Okay, so if we count up how many tens we've got in total, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And our ones, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer to this is 84. So that's another option, guys, you could do. So for example, if I wanted you to do, let's say 12 times 3, you could do a table like this. You'd put your tens and your ones. So you'd put 1 counter in your tens, 2 in your ones, because it's 12. And you do that 3 times because we're timesing by 3. So then your answer, you've got 3 tens and you've got 2, 4, 6, 1. So that's quite a nice way of doing it. I know it's easy if you've got the counters, but you can still do it if you draw them and it works just the same. Okay, so this is a true or false. 24 times 2 equals 48. Have a think. Do you think it's true or do you think it's false? Okay, so it is in fact true. We can look at it in 2 different ways. They've drawn the counters out here. So they've drawn 2 lots of 24. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. And they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 48. Or they could have done the column multiplication. So 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 times 2 is 4. Sorry guys. So it works both ways and both ways gives you the answer. Okay, so year 4, I have given you a few 3 by 1 digit numbers. Year 3, you've not done this yet, so don't worry about it. But if you'd like to have a go, that is fine. So 4 times 4 is 16. So we put our 6 in here and we exchange. We're going to give our 1 over to the tens. 4 times 1 is 4. Add that 1 underneath. It's 5. And 2 times 4 is 8. So the answer is 856. Okay, so you'll do it for today. You've got 4 questions that you all need to answer. And then the extra challenge is the 3 digits by 1 digits. That is for year 4. You must do that. And year 3, you can do that if you choose. So if you want to pause me while you have a go, you can then go into your and we will go through the answers together. And you'll secure it. Ellie has solved the following multiplication. Is she correct? Explain your answer. Okay, I'm going to whiz through the answers now and then if you'll do it. So you may have done it using the counters or you may have done column multiplication, but you should have got the following answers. So number 1 was 72. Number 2 was 148. Number 3 was 416. Number 4 was 189. And then the extra challenge, the first one was 372 and the second was 1012. Now, same as yesterday, if you got 3 or more wrong, I'd like you to go back through the video and watch the different methods you can use and then come back and have a go. If still then you're not getting it, please send me an email and we will go through it together. And you'll secure it. So Ellie has solved the following multiplication. 32 times 3 is 95. Is she correct? Explain your answer. So no, she was incorrect. She had added her ones column rather than multiplying, and the correct answer is, so 3 times 2 is 6, because we're timesing, not adding. 3 times 3 is 9, so she should have got 96. Okay, guys, I hope you've all found that okay today. Any problems, just send me an email, and we'll be back to maths tomorrow. Bye!